Sanbonani, good morning and goeiemorgen. Welcome to our very first show of Learn for Life, where we mold the youth to be change makers in their communities. We equip them with information from different topics for different grades by creating a safe environment for them. So on today's show, we'll be touching on a topic that everyone knows, but it's a very good topic because people have different experiences from it. So our topic from today is self-esteem. But our question is, does your self-esteem change when you reach your teenage stage? So on today's show, we have two special guests who are also our Masinyisani youth leaders in Mpumi Primary School. Let's welcome our two special guests, Nompumelelo and Balo. How are you guys today?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I am super.
I'm also great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. But before we ask them any questions or we get into our topic, let's first ask our viewers what do they think of or what do they know about self-esteem.
It's about confidence. Zimkhitha kwakho. Kwaye yonke into ethetha about self-esteem yakho.
Funeka ube ne-confidence, ungazithatheli phansi, yonke laa nto.
As we heard from our viewers, now let's ask our youth leaders what do they have to say about their experiences in self-esteem. So in just a short sentence, okanye, anything that you would like to say, what is self-esteem?
Well, I'd say self-esteem is basically having confidence in one's worth and also your capabilities and abilities and also having self-respect. Yes, so yeah.
Self-esteem, from my point of view, I think it's a subject about one's self-worth or how they feel about the things that are happening in the world, like their beliefs, their triumphs. Like it's everything that involves you as a person, as an individual.
Okay, guys. So I want to know, as you are in primary school, and are you conscious about yourself? Like, do you know who you are? And are you aware if you have a high or a low self-esteem? Or is it in primary school, or is it just about, okay, you are just living life in jail, like you are a baby and you don't know what's happening, so
Okay, so for me, at the primary school, like, you're just a kid. You're actually getting to know how school works. You're actually developing, you're getting to know yourself as an individual. So I think you can actually identify whether you have a high or a low self-esteem when you actually reach your teenage years, because that's when you're actually active, that's when your identity forms as an individual, because that's when you actually go out there in the world and actually see yourself, how you actually correspond with the situations that you get into.
In primary school, for me, I think I agree with what Balo just mentioned, that you are still developing yourself. However, I think it's still early stages of you as a child. Also, it can happen that you can also be developing a self-esteem, whether it's low or high. Because, you know, like there are things that kids experience both at school and at home. So you would think that they are not conscious of the fact that there are things that are happening around them. So as much as maybe they were, obviously the intention of going to school is for a child to develop their identity and get to know themselves. However, there are incidents that are happening around them. Maybe they're developing a low self-esteem because of what's happening at school, or they're developing a high self-esteem or a low self-esteem because of what's happening at home. But it's still early ages. You cannot really identify what's really happening in primary school.
So could you say our parents also have an impact in our low self-esteem or high self-esteem? Could they be the ones who, like, they encourage you? But for instance, myself, I was always a skinny girl, so I had a problem. Sorry, Nada, but I had a problem with my mom telling me about my weight. But Zimkhitha, you are so skinny, you must eat a lot. Ne? So when I go to school, everyone has has baby fat. Ne? So I would always be that shy one who's very insecure about my body. Ne? So do you think our parents also have an impact in building our self-esteem or destroying our self-esteem as we in primary school?
Definitely. They definitely do, because it has to deal with parenting styles. If your parents are abusive, if your parents are controlling, then as a child you will have a problem, because you will be afraid, you cannot voice out how you feel. And sometimes you always take into consideration what they're actually saying. Even if it's hurtful, you're going to like tell yourself, this is true, you understand. And then you're going to grow with that as a child. And that is where the negative thoughts come. And then you're going to be like, no, I'm useless, I'm not worth it, I'm fat, I'm ugly, whatever I do, I'm a failure. So you grow up with that as a child. So, and then when you grow up as a child being negative, your parent does not understand that they contributed because of their lacking of parental skills.
So I understand that maybe our parents have the impact in our self-esteem high, but our black parents especially, they will be like, you're gonna deal with it, and then so whatever they tell us, we must just suck it in and then move on with life.
Okay, with that, I think it depends on the mother and child, or the parental relationship with the child. Because sometimes you also have to understand your parents, and you also have to understand your child. If you do not understand how your child receives things, then there's a danger, because you need to understand. But if your child understands how you communicate with them, then it will all be good.
I also agree on the fact that firstly, parents have a very high influence or impact in whether their child have low or high self-esteem. It's the parents' responsibility to take charge of everything. So they can't be saying cruel things and in a very disrespectful manner because they think that they can say it because they are in charge of their child. No, that's not how it works. The child can't even think at that time. They can't even tell their mother, this is how I expect you to speak to me. So it's what Balo just mentioned, that it's the parents' role that they should learn. They should take time to learn how their child can receive some type of conversations or some words. It's not the child. The child can't say, Mom, this is how I think you should speak to me. No, it's the parents' role.
And I think, I'm sorry, Mala, I think also our parents don't understand the fact that as we grow as siblings, we are all different. Yes. So what you say to Ubani, you can't say to the other child, because let's say the other child has a very low self-esteem or a soft heart. So whatever you say to that child, it would affect the child more than when you say it to the other child. Now, youth leaders, there's a question. Now I want you to share me your experience in high school. In high school, you feel the pressure that you need to be in a certain group in order to fit, or you need to be in a certain way in order to fit that group. So I want you guys to share me a bit of your experiences in high school.
In my junior primary, it ended in standard 7, which is grade 9. But I didn't want to stay because I felt like I was already overwhelmed with how people are there. So I felt like, you know what, because I felt like I'm being pushed in a corner where I have to have low self-esteem, where I have to be afraid of people, where I have to be afraid of defending myself. So I went to high school thinking that I don't want to meet these kind of people. So when I went to high school, it was a whole lot of surprise that actually there's a lot that's happening in high school. By the way, I wish parents can sit down with their kids and tell them that there's a lot that's happening in high school. Don't think that there's a lot that's happening in varsity. No, life begins in high school. It's a movie, but it's happening. It's real.
And you experience a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's where you actually experiment, okay, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
How it is it working for me? Is it isn't working for me?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So even though I never drank, in high school. I was never a party girl, but I think I witnessed a lot of things. And I think that high school is where you actually choose where you want to be. Do you want to be a person that allows low self-esteem or negative things to affect you? Or do you allow yourself, as Balo said, that she told herself that when I have something to do, I will make sure that I do it well, and I will make sure that I achieve it. So she chose that path for herself. But I know that for some people, it's not really easy as it may seem, because there are a lot of things that are happening. Firstly, at home, and now you have to face or deal with things that are happening in high school. Before we even get to the circle that you get involved in, it's your teachers. Because teachers play a role of being a parent to you. So if they don't really give you attention or show that or give you that courage, then there's something that will affect you somehow. You know, for example, in high school, there are those who are given attention mostly by the teachers. So I think that has a lot of impact in some students, because they don't get attention from home. Their mother just looks at the final year report and say, oh, you passed, fine. No one gives you that high five or a pat in the back. You have to self-motivate yourself all the time. So I think that in high school, for me, I had to choose my path. And I thought, you know what, because I grew up from a very poor background and a very divided family, I told myself the only thing I have right now is my studies. So I was never smart, but I was a hard worker. So how I got my good marks, even in metric, it's through my hard working. So that's all I had. So I chose that path for myself, that, you know what, for you to look like a person who has high self-esteem, or maybe I was convincing myself, but that's how I survived high school.
And also to add to what she said, right, in terms of the competition with regards to the parents and also the teachers looking at certain students, I think it's a tendency, because if you actually take note of what causes low self-esteem, she mentioned a lot of things. And also that thing of parents saying, someone is doing better than you, why can't you achieve that? And I feel like parents are failing us, because if you understood your child's cognitive or intellectual abilities, then you'd actually take a step further to actually help your child to achieve more. Because yes, as much as it's about working hard, but also it's about working smart. Because that's how I got through it. You have to work smart. Look at the strategies. Look what works for you. You can't use the same strategy someone uses when they study. Maybe you can parrot read, maybe you have a good memory. Someone else likes singing, so perhaps you can just try and sing your work, and then that way you'll be like, okay, you're just singing and you're writing your work. Then you're positive, you're just having that vibe and everything. So
yeah. So I understand that our teachers, they play a huge role in bringing down our self-esteem. Because you would get teachers who would say, in front of the class, and then you'll be that child that, guys, I am the dumbest child in this class. And it's really a handful. And I guess also our parents, like, they're not aware of they are bringing down our self-esteem, and they're not helping us, because you would get a child who is being bullied at school, and they're being taken their lunch, or there's foul words that they are sent out to them, or there are nasty things they are sent out to them, but you can't say such things at home, because they would just say, it's high school, you must man up, or you must be a big girl.
To what you're saying, I feel like what our parents would do, and also our teachers could actually also help, teach children coping mechanisms. Because if you teach a child how to cope and bounce back from situations and having resilience, then I think a lot of us would actually, you know, try and get there, like have a high self-esteem, because we don't know how to bounce back, because some of us, we just fall. And when we fall, we feel sorry for ourselves. And I feel like feeling sorry for yourself is not going to help anyone. You have to be strong, let it out, because we have this mentality of, I'm not allowed to cry, I don't want to cry because I'm going to seem as if I'm weak. Be vulnerable, cry, burst out if you want to, because at the end of the day you have to pick yourself up. And the only person who will be able to pick yourself up is yourself. You have to push yourself. And having a strong support system, yes, it's there, but it all depends on you. And you're the only one that can actually achieve what you want to achieve, you see.
Yeah. So what I want to know, I believe, Balo, you studied psychology. What I want to know is, does your identity also affect your self-esteem? So I want you to unpack environmentally, into the society, and also physically. Psychology, sorry.
Okay, can I just try and put them together or something? Okay. So when it comes to identity, you're actually like, you get the different types of stages, right? There are the like stages that you pass through as an individual. So like, you actually developing yourself. So now when you develop, your identity is made up of many things. It's made up of who you are, the family that you come from, where you want to be, your future goals, your friends, so the people that you surround yourself with, the environment that you actually grow up in. So I think as an individual, if you're actually trying to discover who you are and what you're about in this life, and also you're pushing yourself to like, you're telling yourself that, okay, I want to be this person, and this is who I am, and this is where I'm going. So I feel like I'd associate that with a high self-esteem. But if you don't know who you are, you'd have doubts about yourself. You don't know where you're going. You're in an environment whereby people are, they're just not getting anywhere in their lives. So I'd associate that with a low self-esteem. And people telling you that you can't do it. So that would be psychological, because they're feeding your brain. Because remember, once you plant a seed, it grows. So you can, it's like, it's a choice. You can either choose to plant a seed of growth, or you can just plant a seed that just won't grow. You see, so.
Now let's hear from our viewers, what do they have to say about, do they think that the society also has an impact in their low self-esteem or rising their self-esteem, and also psychologically and also physically? Let's see what they have to say.
Yes. Actually, our self-esteem is being changed by the environment, and most of the time our peers, because of the level of wearing and the way you're popular and celebrated, and that is all about high school. Just be yourself and try by all means to ignore negativity and criticism and focus on the positive side.
Thank you to our viewers, very appreciated. So I understand, or let's get into, there are two different types of people. There are people who are arrogant, who think they have a high self-esteem, and there are people who are shy, but who come out there as they have a low self-esteem. Now I want you to differentiate between the two.
With the high self-esteem, you get the kids that are arrogant. They are going to mistaken themselves for being the best that they are, because I always tell people that there'll always be someone that is better than you are, but there'll never be anyone who's better than you, right? So in terms of, a child can be shy, but they'll have a high self-esteem, which means that person is humble and they have respect. Because remember, we said that when you have self-esteem, you basically have confidence in your self-respect. Now, self-respect, people are not born the same way. Some people are going to be introverts. So that's where the introverted extrovert thing comes in. And I also think it also has to do with the crowd, whereby you feel shy with a certain crowd, and then when you're with other people, you just become this bubbly personality, and then people are just going to take you as shy because they don't know you. You see,
Before we wrap up, guys, I want you guys to tell me, what can you say for your younger self, or to people who are going to varsity or who are going to high school? How can they boost their self-esteem? What can you advise for them?
Okay, for me, first of all, know who you are. Know what you want in your life. Know what you are about. Surround yourself with a positive crowd. And be a go-getter. Fall, but dust yourself up and rise up. Because it's the world. It's nothing personal. It's just life.
I think I would advise my younger self and other people as well that I agree with what Balo just said, that know yourself, know your worth. But I think there are people who know, like me, I knew my background, I knew where I was coming from, but it's just a matter of acceptance. When you know who you are, where you come from, your beliefs, your parents' beliefs, then accept it and then make decisions from that point onwards. Because like Balo, I think she mentioned that previously, that you would want something and then you know that you can't get it, but now you have to change who you are. For example, you know very well that you come from a poor background. That's why you would want to go for a sugar daddy. It's because you are aware of what's happening, but it's just that you don't want to accept it. So what I'm saying is, after you have seen your surroundings, you can see how your mom is treating you, like everything, just accept it and then make a decision from that point onwards. Don't make an excuse and say that, yes, the thing is, previously when we said parents have to look after you, they have to teach, it's not a matter of saying that at a later stage blame them. Because anyways, everyone has a choice. And anyways, it's how the world is programmed. We have to go through these things. And the thing is, negativity negativity is something that affects people more than positivity. So make sure that after you have accepted who you are, where you come from, please make a decision and like analyze each and everything. And it's because each choice has an outcome, and it won't be the same outcome. If you choose to feed yourself with negativity and peer pressure, then though you will get what is that thing? You reap what you sow. Yeah, you reap what you sow. So make sure that each decision has its own outcome, its own results. Don't be shocked at a later stage, maybe when you are in varsity, or I don't know, maybe something happens. Don't be shocked, because you have to go back and think, what did I do? What actions did I take? What decisions did I make? Was it based on the fact that I dwelt too much on my background, or how my father or my mother treated me, or is it because it was my choice? So it's like that.
And just to quickly add to what she said, you are a product of your own choices. And also you need to understand, just because you don't have something now doesn't mean you can't have it and you can't get it the right way. Just learn to be patient with yourself, because you are going to get it, just not now. Just work towards it, and trust me, you are definitely going to get there. It's just a matter of time.
Thank you very much, guys. Now we heard it. Sizibele sonke, guys. Remember, guys, you are beautiful as you are. Always stay true to yourself. Always tell yourself a positive, always tell yourself something positive about yourself. Wake up in the morning, go and look at in the mirror and tell yourself, I am beautiful. And also to our parents, always tell our children that we love them. I love you, you are beautiful, the way you are right now, you are right. Let's not forget that. As we wrap up, let's not forget to do subscribe on our YouTube channel, which is Masinyo Sane. Share your views, and also comment if you want to comment. And if you want to hear a certain topic, just drop us a DM. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you to our special guests. It was lovely having you guys. Now let's say bye.
Bye.